In this video, I'm going to show you different ways of selecting data using VB.net. We're going to select data using checkboxes, radio buttons, and a combo box. We're going to output the data to a multi-line text box. I'm also going to teach you how to use the debugging tools and put in breakpoints and get the program to stop on the breakpoints, step through using F10 and the F11, and inspect the variables. Firstly, we create a new project in VB.net and give it a suitable name. I'm calling it Radio Combo Checkbox. And make a self-contained folder for it. Everything that you create should be saved in this folder. I'm calling the folder radio_combo_check. Check that you've got .NET Framework 4 selected and Windows Form application highlighted, and then click OK. After you've made the form a bit bigger, drag a button from the toolbox onto your form and position it as I've shown. Make the button a bit bigger . Change the text to Go and rename it to BTN Go. I'm changing the font colour to green and making the text a bit bigger and also making it bold. Remember to click on the 3 little dots at the end of the font colour box. I'm searching for a checkbox in the toolbox. And then I'll drag it onto the form. I'm going to copy and paste it and then create a new one just underneath it. I repeat that and create a third one. I'll change the text in the first checkbox to 1 to 5. And the text in the second checkbox to 1 to 10. And the text in the third checkbox to 1 to 15. In the toolbox, search for a radio button and position it as I've shown. Change the text to the word red, make it bigger and make it bold, and also change the colour of the text to red. Copy and paste it and create a new one just underneath the first one. This new one's going to be a green one. Copy and paste it again and make a blue one. Select all the checkboxes and make the font bigger for them all. Add a combo box and position it as I've shown. Add a text box, change the multiline property to true and position it as I've shown and make it a bit bigger. Change the name of the form to something like Ways to Select. Save it all and check it runs. It seems to run fine. Notice you can select more than one checkbox at one time, but you can only select one radio button at a time. Okay, let's try typing in some code. Firstly, we'll dimension selected item as an integer. This will be used to store the number of the item selected from the combo box. Then we'll dimension selected colour as a string. Then count as another integer. We're now going to set the values for the combo box. To do that, we need to go back to the form and double click anywhere but not on an object. That takes us into the form load routine, the routine that's run first when the form is loaded. We type in combo box 1, which is the name of our combo box, and then items.add. Notice it prompts us these from a list. The first item that we'll put in will be the string half. Notice we have to put this inside brackets and inside speech marks to show that it's a string. Next we repeat this and type in third. Then we repeat this procedure again and type in square. Notice we'll be doing mathematical functions on a list of numbers. For each number we'll find half of it, a third of it, and the square of its value. Next we double click on the Go button so as we can get to the part where we enter the code for when that button is pressed. We enter txt output.text equals space. Notice txt output is underlined, so there's something wrong there. Now we're going to check if checkbox 1 is checked. We do that by doing if checkbox 1 dot checked equals true. If it is, then we'll make count equal 5. That will mean that it will only display 5 numbers in the output. It will just display numbers 1 to 5. There's something wrong with checkbox 1.checked. Oh, I've spelt checked wrongly. There's something also wrong with the txt output. I'll go and have a look at the design view and see what I've called the box that I want to output it in. Oh, it's still called textbox1. I need to change that to txt output. Next I type if checkbox2.checked equals true, then count equals 10. Next we type if selected underscore item equals 1, then this will be the selected item from the combo box. txt output.text plus equals I and space in speech marks and Math.Round I divided by 2. This will be for the half one. We're going to round it to 2 decimal places, so I put comma 2 within the round argument, and also we're going to create a new line, so I put environment.newline. Notice there's a blue underline, that's where I tried to type I and the VB.net interpreted it as an integer. Also notice that environment.newline is case sensitive, so the E, the N and the L have to be in capitals. There's still an error, I've forgotten one more ampersand. This is the process of debugging, so I'm holding the cursor on various items to see what the error is. I also need to declare I as an integer at the top. So at the moment this will only output one line of text with one number on it. We want it to output a range of numbers on a number of lines. So we introduce a variable and do for I equals 1 to count. We also have to remember to introduce the next I statement to indicate the end of the lines to repeat. So now we've done the code for the first option in the combo box, the half values, we can copy and paste that and make the code for the second option in the combo box, the third values. Let's save it and check it runs. I will select the second checkbox and the first item in the combo box and see if it runs. Nothing happens, so I'll go back and look at the code. I tested it again with the second checkbox selected and the second item in the combo box, but nothing happens. So now we're going to have to start some debugging and introduce a breakpoint. We introduce a breakpoint by left clicking in the margin adjacent to the line where we want the program to stop. I select the second checkbox option, the second radio button and the second combo box option and then press run. The program stops executing where I put the breakpoint and then I can check what's in the variables by holding the mouse over them. The selected item needs to be assigned when the user leaves the combo box, and there's a routine for when that happens. To find that, we look in the list of routines associated with that combo box, and the list is in the drop-down box to the right. It's the combo box leave routine, and we click on it and it generates a place for us to enter the code. We enter selected underscore item equals combo box 1 dot item dot selected index. Now let's save it and see if it works. Again, we select the second checkbox item, the second radio button and the second item in the drop-down list of the combo box. It has worked, but it's displaying halves instead of 1/3, and that's because the first item in the combo box is item 0 and the second item in the combo box is item 1. We need to change if selected item equals 1 to if selected item equals 0 and if selected item equals 2 to if selected item equals 1. We need to also delete the line where we say selected item equals 0. Let's check and see if it works. We select the second checkbox and the second item in the combo box. It's still giving us halves instead of 1/3, so let's put a breakpoint in and see what's happening. It stops at the breakpoint, so now we can press F10 to step over each line and we can hover over the variables to see what's inside them. It did the checkbox 2 checked OK and set count to equal 10. It's doing the selected item equals 1 part OK, but there's a mistake here. It should be divided by 3 instead of divided by 2 to make it equal to 1/3. Let's press F5 that continues the program to check it's OK. Yes, it's fine. You can see 1/3 are displaying. Here are some extension activities for you to do. Code the second and third radio buttons and check that they work. Work out what the code does and insert comments. Add code so as the 1 to 15 checkbox works. Make the programming code change the colour of the text in TXT output when the radio buttons are selected. Code the program so as the square combo box option works. Make a combo box option square root and check it works. Make 2 more combo box options of your own choice and check they work. Comment the new parts of the program. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe.